First plane that you see coming in is a French Southpaw. That was flown by Eugene Bullock in World War I. He was the first African-American fighter pilot in 1915, 1916. When the United States came into the war, the United States Army Air Corps did not want to fly with a black man, so out he went. The next two planes you see coming in is the Piper J-3 and P-51. The Piper J-3 is the one that Chief Anderson flew President Roosevelt's wife in March of 1942, and she said, these boys can fly. And the program got off the ground then. The P-51 was assigned to the 332nd after they left North Africa and got into Italy, and they were requested to escort bombers. Now, you see these movies and all of this stuff, and it's not true. You know, there is no man in the world, black or white, will sing when he gets shot. That's the way HBO put it. When that hot stuff hits you, you ain't gonna say but one thing. I know what I said when it hit me. Oh Lord. In the second part, if you've seen the movie Red Tails, how many of you have seen that movie? There were two things in there not real. Where he flew over the house and spotted it in that little village and went back and recognized it. Impossible. The second thing is where the black officers and white officers sat down and drank together. Never happened. The other thing is about the P-51, the Tuskegee Airman flew over 1,500 missions, and they lost six or 12, they're still investigating it, bombers to a German fighter. The Tuskegee Airman was the first one that shot down a jet. Roscoe Brown did it in June of 1944. The other thing about the P-51, it's a sweet aircraft. I had a chance to fly it. The Tuskegee Airmen, you will never know the true things about them. You will never know what they went through to do what they've done. I used to see my father. He talked to me sometime and he said, I don't want to talk about it now. When he seen that HBO program, he told me, turn that off. And then we talked. My father and uncle were my heroes. They instilled on me, son, whatever you do, be the best. I've lived with that for 81 years. I was able to rise from PFC in the United States Marine Corps to Lieutenant Colonel. I went through flight school. When the warrant officers were flying helicopters, when I went in the Marine Corps, they asked me what I wanted to be. I said, pilot. And the man looked at me if I was crazy. He said, what makes you think you can fly in the Marine Corps? I said, well, I have my private license now. What? I said, I have my private license now. And the way I got my private license, my father and uncle in the late 50s bought 3 Navy training Spearmans and converted 2 of them into crop dusters. and we had a crop dusting business going in Louisiana. And I learned how to fly with that crop duster. And after another year, my father let me take the test for private pilot license, and then I got my private license. Then he shipped me off to college and said, when you come back, you'll be able to take care of the business. I said, yes, sir. But what I didn't know, when I went to Warrant Officer School in the Marine Corps, that added 4 more years onto my contract. Then they stopped warrant officers from flying helicopters. Then I had to go to Officer Candidate School. That put 4 more years on my contract. Then I went to flight school. That was 4 more years. It took me 16 years to do a 4-year contract with the United States Marine Corps. By that time, you know, I was major, and I told my father, he said, "Man, you don't need to get out now, son. You got major." So, in comes, then after I graduated, I went to Vietnam. I got shot down twice, show you how stupid I am. And then, after I got shot down the second time, they sent me to the old man squadron. I started flying C-130s and 737, military air transportation. Then my eyes went bad, and I got hooked up with the State Department. I was with the United States State Department for 10 years. Security officer for American embassies Pacific Rim. And ooh, I had the privilege of serving 7 presidents.
Wow.
My first one was Johnson. Nixon was my favorite. Ford, I can't say anything about him. Carter, he was a good man. My zinger was Reagan. He vetoed the bill to put a boycott and stuff going to South Africa. He vetoed that. Americans still serve South Africa. But Mr. Bush sent me back to war, and Mr. Clinton messed up my dream house in Singapore. When I went to Singapore, I was the only African American in that area, and I had good time. Clinton came into office, and all of a sudden there was an influx of more African Americans. And some of them brought their wives. And some of them talked to my housekeeper. And things changed. All in all, I had 32 years in the Marine Corps. I would not trade a moment of it or do it any other way. And I will tell everybody in here the same thing that my father told me. Whatever you do, be the best.
Yes, sir.
Thank you.